This ID feature will help you to separate rock pipit from the much rarer water pipit. Rock pipit is a resident species found around our coasts, although, as its name suggests, it prefers rocky habitats and avoids the gentle sandy shorelines more generally found in the east. Although basing their territories on rocky habitats and cliffs, rock pipits frequently forage on the grassy hinterland, and when seen here, the challenge will be to separate them from the ubiquitous meadow pipit. This should be relatively straightforward, however. Rock pipit is a slightly larger and noticeably stouter bird. Its colouring is very different as well, with rock pipit being a very dark greyish bird with olive tones in strong sunlight. At this time of year as well, the beak and legs are very dark, almost black, whereas the rich olive-brown meadow pipit has a yellow-based bill and paler pinkish legs. The breast of rock pipit is heavily marked with black streaks and smoky smears on its chest and flanks. Meadow pipits call with a thin, tremulous mip-mip that sounds slightly shy or even hesitant. When flushed, meadow pipits fly up with a very worried sounding mip-mip-mip call. Rock pipits also have a short call, but it is much stronger and assured sounding, almost explosive, and certainly never sounding worried or nervous. Rock pipits often only call singly as well, or if repeating, repeat slowly. Until relatively recently, water pipit was considered to be a subspecies of rock pipit, and it is in many ways a very similar species. Water pipits breed in mountainous areas of Europe, and they don't occur in the UK during the breeding season. In the winter, however, small numbers, around about 100 each year, turn up and overwinter here. One major clue to their identity is the habitat that they are in. Rock pipits remain pretty faithful to their marine homes all year round, but water pipits favour damp areas with fresh water, such as marshes, and habitually watercress beds and water treatment works. They can also be found on flooded fields, including ones near the coast. Although identical in size to rock pipit, the important first impression is of a much more clean-cut, paler bird, with overall colours lacking the smoky greyness of rock pipit. Water pipits also have much plainer backs, without the winter rock pipit's obvious stripes. They also have a plainer head. Although rock pipit bill and legs can be slightly paler in winter, water pipits can be much lighter, almost approaching meadow pipit at times with the pinkness of its legs. Water pipit underparts are cleaner and whiter, and the markings beneath are crisper without the smoky smudging. But the most obvious feature is shown when water pipits fly or when they are flushed, and this is clear, obvious white outer tail feathers, contrasting with the black of the rest of the tail, which is noticeably darker than the rest of the bird. On rock pipits, the outer tail feathers are grey, and the overall tail impression is of a similar depth of colour to the rest of the bird. Water pipits also have two narrow whitish wing bars, and these can be quite obvious in flight, but you will be initially at least struck by the white in the tail. Water pipit and rock pipit calls are extremely similar, although with a lot of experience of both species it is possible to tell them apart. But for most purposes, and certainly for most birdwatchers, separation of these two closely related species will be on visual characteristics.